the New York Giants. Going into the offseason, you wonder what they were going to do with Saquon Barkley. They waited all the way to the end of minicamp to give him somewhat of a contract with incentives. He missed a significant amount of time with the Giants practicing because the Giants couldn't negotiate the right deal with their best player. They give Daniel Jones $40 million. They have to pay him for the next 2 years, so it's going to be close to $80 million where they can decide to opt out after the second year. It's a 3-year deal with Daniel Jones. But I don't blame Daniel Jones on this loss against the Dallas Cowboys because Daniel Jones didn't even have time to throw the ball. They added a great center in the second round, and I'm not going to blame Schmidt on the way the offensive line played in game number 1 on Sunday Night Football.
He's the only one that played well.
Thomas looked like crap. You overpaid an offensive lineman, and at one point last year, he was the top 3 offensive lineman in the league. I still question Thomas and what they gave him in the offseason when you had to divvy out the money right. You had to give Dexter Lawrence the money that you wanted to give him. You had to give Daniel Jones, but the guy that you should have been paying and you should have decided on how you were going to negotiate a deal with was Saquon Barkley, and you could see it on his face. You could see after the game when they were interviewing him and they were asking questions about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, and he said, I don't want to talk about the Jets. I'm a Giant, and we're here, and we got our butts whipped. It was embarrassing on your own turf, on your own field, because if the Giants put up a 40-0 completely kaput game, you can think that the Giants throughout the season is going to have problems winning at home. The Cowboys are a good team, but not a great team. The Philadelphia Eagles are great. Just because they barely beat the New England Patriots week 1, they have a bunch of youngsters and they have to learn the defense and learn the offense. 2 new coordinators. They're going to figure things out. They're too talented not to. They're the only great team in the NFC. The Cowboys, Zach Martin's fantastic, but the offensive line, as well as it played against the Giants, who did they play against? Thibodeau, a second-year player? Dexter Lawrence was the only one that actually showed up on Sunday night. Leonard Williams, he's got his head up his ass. And I'm not going to blame Banks, the youngster, trying to defend CeeDee Lamb.
He actually played well in the first quarter, then he got hurt.
And nobody is going to stop CeeDee Lamb, but you can keep him down a certain amount of touches. We'll see what the Jets do. Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, how they're going to defend CeeDee Lamb. Are they going to double team CeeDee Lamb? Are you going to bring the safeties up and come under him? I don't know how the Jets are going to defend CeeDee Lamb because he's a great wide receiver. I believe he was the second best wide receiver in football last year. The Giants did nothing right in the game. Saquon Barkley had 12 touches for 51 yards. He was efficient, 4.25 average every time he touched the ball, which is good. The only reason why he had 12 carries is because the Giants were down 16-0, so you can't run the ball. And then all of a sudden, going into the third and fourth quarter, the great offensive coordinator and great offensive mind of Dable decided to run the ball. That opens up play action for somebody like Daniel Jones. They stopped running the ball. It made no sense. 16-0 after the first quarter. There's still a lot of football left. What I would have done is I would have started to run the ball again. This is your strength. Start pitching the ball to Saquon in the backfield. Get 5 yards here, 6 yards here. Start giving your quarterback confidence. Once you give your quarterback confidence, he can start throwing the ball down the field. And Hyatt, he couldn't catch a fish in the air. You watch Tony with the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. He was an ex-Giant. Then you watch another Giant in Hyatt. He was targeted once. It hit him right in the face.
The Giants, I think, when they realized that the right side of the line was just getting attacked, they have to try to maybe balance the line out a little more.
Nobody's going to stop Micah Parsons. Anybody that thinks the Jets are going to stop Micah Parsons, not going to happen. Nobody's going to stop him, but you could contain him. I believe Nathaniel Hackett, he's going to bring in a tight end, and wherever Micah Parsons is set up, on the right side or the left side, they're going to put a tight end there. It's not going to stop him, but it might contain him long enough where Zach Wilson can make a throw in the open field. I think the Jets' offensive line's a lot better than the Giants. I expect the Jets' offensive line to do whatever they can to protect Zach Wilson against the Dallas Cowboys. I expect a lot of running, and I expect Breece Hall to get more touches than he did against the Buffalo Bills. Dak Prescott throws 143 yards in this game. He is going to lose this game. You're going to have to throw against the Jets and beat them in the open field. Everybody's going to say, how are you going to do that when you have Michael Carter II, DJ Reed, and Sauce Gardner? When Buffalo needed to make the throws, they were making the throws. DJ Reed had 11 tackles. Sauce Gardner had one of his worst games, but he didn't give up a touchdown, and he only gave up 30 yards. If Sauce Gardner's worst game is 30 yards, I think that's a win. But you look at this Cowboy team and what they did against the Giants, they absolutely embarrassed them. Dak Prescott doesn't need to put up numbers. All you need to be is efficient. There was no excuses for the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football to lay a lousy goose egg. As much as I love the Giants coach, Dable, I think he is the quarterback whisperer. You see what happened with Josh Allen ever since he's left going to the New York Giants. Look at Daniel Jones's numbers from before last year and now. I think the Giants are much better than they showed week 1.